The crowd was roaring, lights slicing through the desert night, and in the middle of the chaos, two of the most talked about names in pop culture suddenly appeared, and in that instant, everything changed. If you're obsessed with celebrity news, viral moments, and unexpected public appearances, stay with this story until the very end, because what unfolded during Justin Bieber's performance at Coachella wasn't just another concert moment, it was a signal. A subtle, powerful shift in the relationship between Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner that has fans around the world paying very close attention. In the heart of the desert, surrounded by thousands of fans, Justin Bieber took the stage and delivered a performance charged with emotion and nostalgia. The energy was electric. Phones were up. Every second was being captured. But then, something unexpected started circulating. Fan footage showing Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner not hidden away in some exclusive VIP section, but standing right there in the crowd. That detail alone sparked immediate curiosity. Why would two global icons choose to blend into the crowd instead of staying behind the scenes? Was this a calculated move to appear more relatable, or something more genuine? Timothée, known for his effortless, understated style, looked calm and fully immersed in the music. Kylie, on the other hand, carried her signature presence, confident, polished, yet surprisingly relaxed. But what truly caught attention wasn't their outfits. It was the way they interacted without even trying to be noticed. Small gestures began to tell a much bigger story. At several points during the performance, Kylie subtly moved closer to Timothée, especially during slower, more emotional songs. Timothée, in turn, appeared attentive, occasionally positioning himself in a way that shielded her from the pushing crowd. It wasn't dramatic. It wasn't staged. But it was real enough to make people pause. And in the world of celebrity relationships, those quiet moments often speak the loudest. Because here's the thing, this relationship has always lived in a space between confirmation and mystery. No constant public displays. No overexposed declarations. Just occasional appearances that leave more questions than answers. And that night at Coachella added fuel to the fire. But just when it seemed like that was all there was, something else happened. As Justin Bieber transitioned into a softer, more emotional set, the entire atmosphere shifted. The lights dimmed, the crowd swayed, and cameras began capturing more intimate reactions from the audience. That's when another clip surfaced, one that quickly went viral. In that clip, Kylie appears to lean slightly toward Timothée. It's subtle, almost unnoticeable at first glance. Timothée keeps his focus on the stage, but there's a clear awareness of her presence. It's not exaggerated. It's not performative. It's something quieter, something that feels natural. And that's where the tension builds. Is this just a normal interaction between two people at a concert? Or is it a rare glimpse into something deeper? Fans immediately took to social media, analyzing every frame, every glance, every second. Some were convinced this was proof their relationship is stronger than ever. Others argued it's simply the internet doing what it does best, turning ordinary moments into global headlines. But then, another moment changed everything. A separate clip shows Timothée leaning in, saying something to Kylie. The music is too loud to hear what was said, but Kylie's reaction is unmistakable. She smiles. Not just a casual smile, but something more personal. She laughs softly, then looks at him in a way that feels genuine, unfiltered. That moment didn't need sound. It said everything. Suddenly, this wasn't just about being seen together at a concert. It became about connection. About presence. About two people sharing something real in a place where everything is usually amplified and artificial. And that's the payoff. Not a dramatic announcement. Not a headline-grabbing statement. But a quiet, human moment captured in the middle of one of the loudest events in the world. Coachella is known for unforgettable performances, iconic fashion, and viral surprises. But this moment, Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner standing together in the crowd during Justin Bieber's set, might be one of the most talked about highlights of all. Because sometimes, the most powerful stories aren't the ones shouted from the stage. They're the ones whispered between two people, almost lost in the noise. So what do you think? Was this just a coincidence caught on camera, or a sign that their relationship is entering a new phase? Drop your thoughts in the comments, share this story with someone who follows celebrity news, and stay tuned, because if this moment proved anything, it's that the smallest interactions can create the biggest headlines. And just when the internet thought it had seen everything, the narrative began to evolve even further. Because within hours, multiple angles of the same moment started surfacing. Different clips, different perspectives, but all pointing to the same undeniable truth: Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner were completely in sync that night at Coachella. And the more people watched, the more questions they had. One clip showed them arriving separately, at least, that's how it appeared at first. Kylie moving through the crowd with a small group, her presence immediately drawing attention even in a sea of influencers and celebrities. Minutes later, Timothée was spotted entering from a different direction. Coincidence? Or a deliberate attempt to keep things low-key? Because if there's one thing both of them have mastered, it's controlling the narrative without ever saying a word. But here's where things get even more interesting. As the night progressed and Justin Bieber continued his performance, the crowd grew tighter, louder, more chaotic. And yet, in the middle of all that energy, Timothée and Kylie seemed unaffected. Almost like they were in their own world. At one point, as the bass dropped and the crowd surged forward, a brief moment of tension appeared. Phones shook, people stumbled, and for a split second, the calm atmosphere around them broke. But what happened next became one of the most replayed clips of the night. Timothée instinctively reached out, not dramatically, not in a way that screamed for attention, but just enough to steady Kylie. A small gesture. Almost invisible. But powerful. Because it wasn't about protecting her from the crowd. It was about instinct. And instinct reveals what people try not to show. That single moment shifted the entire conversation online. Suddenly, this wasn't just about two celebrities attending a concert. It became about body language, emotional connection, and the subtle signals that fans obsess over. Relationship experts, pop culture analysts, and casual viewers alike all started breaking it down. Some pointed out how Kylie's posture changed whenever Timothée spoke. Others noticed how Timothée, despite being known for his reserved personality, appeared more relaxed, more open, when standing next to her. And then came the slowdown. The kind of moment where everything else fades into the background. The music softened again. The lights dimmed. And for a brief stretch of time, it felt like the entire crowd was moving in slow motion. That's when another piece of footage began trending, arguably the most talked about clip of the night. Kylie, eyes fixed on the stage, slowly turned toward Timothée. He wasn't looking at her at first. He was focused on the performance. But then, almost as if he felt it, he turned too. Their eyes met. No exaggerated reactions. No dramatic gestures. Just a look. And somehow, that was enough. Because in a place like Coachella, where everything is loud, fast, and constantly demanding attention, a quiet moment like that stands out more than anything else. It felt unscripted. It felt real. And most importantly, it felt rare. But just as the internet began to settle into that narrative, something unexpected disrupted everything again. A new clip. Different angle. Closer view. In this one, Timothée leans in slightly, not to say something this time, but just to be closer. Kylie doesn't pull away. In fact, she shifts slightly toward him. Not enough to make a scene, but enough to confirm what people were already starting to believe. This wasn't accidental proximity. This was comfort. And comfort is something you can't fake in a crowd like that. Now the conversation exploded. Headlines began forming. Social media threads grew longer. Fans started comparing this appearance to their previous public outings, trying to map out a timeline of emotional progression. Was this their most natural appearance yet? Was this the night they stopped holding back? Or was this simply a moment that the world happened to witness, but wasn't meant to overanalyze? Because here's the reality: every movement they make exists under a microscope. Every glance becomes a headline. Every smile becomes a theory. And yet, despite all of that, there was something about this night that felt different. Something less controlled. Less calculated. More human. And that's what made it powerful. As Justin Bieber closed out his set, the energy in the crowd reached its peak. Cheers, lights, music, all colliding into one final moment of chaos and celebration. And just like that, it was over. But for Timothee and Kylie, the story didn't end there. Because as people began to leave, more footage surfaced, showing them walking out, still close, still connected in that same quiet way. No rush to separate. No visible effort to create distance. If anything, they looked even more at ease. And that final image, the two of them disappearing into the crowd, side by side, became the lasting impression of the night. Not a kiss. Not a public declaration. But something arguably more meaningful. Consistency. Because throughout the entire night, from arrival to departure, their energy never shifted. No mixed signals. No awkward distance. Just a steady, undeniable presence next to each other. And in a world where celebrity relationships often feel performative or fleeting, that kind of consistency stands out. So now the question isn't just what happened at Coachella? The real question is, what does this mean moving forward? Is this the beginning of a more open chapter in their relationship? Are they slowly becoming more comfortable being seen together without filters, without barriers? Or are they simply choosing to live in the moment, regardless of who's watching? One thing is certain. This wasn't just another celebrity sighting. This was a moment layered with meaning, emotion, and just enough mystery to keep the world watching. And if history has shown anything, it's that moments like this don't fade quickly. They evolve. They grow. And sometimes, they lead to something much bigger. So stay close, because if this night at Coachella was any indication, the story of Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner is far from over. And as the dust settled over the desert and the final echoes of the music faded into the night, the impact of that appearance only grew stronger. Because the next morning, it wasn't just fans talking. Major entertainment outlets began picking up the story. Headlines questioned what this public moment meant, not only for their relationship, but for how Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner are choosing to exist in the spotlight. Analysts noted how rare it has become for high-profile couples to appear so openly, yet so quietly, without turning it into a spectacle. What made this moment different was its restraint. There were no posed photos. No red carpet smiles. No carefully released statements. Instead, there was raw, unscripted presence, captured by fans, shared organically, and amplified purely because it felt authentic. That authenticity became the core of the conversation. Observers pointed out that Kylie, who has spent most of her life under intense public scrutiny, appeared unusually relaxed. There was no exaggerated awareness of cameras. No performance for social media. Just someone enjoying music in real time. Timothée, often described as private and introspective, appeared equally unguarded. For someone known to avoid excessive public exposure when it comes to his personal life, this moment stood out, not because of what he did, but because of what he didn't avoid. And that contrast fueled even more intrigue. Because in an era where celebrity couples often rely on visibility to stay relevant, this appearance felt almost defiant. It suggested that relevance didn't need to be forced. that genuine moments still carry power. As the clips continued to circulate, fans began noticing another detail, one that hadn't been discussed as much at first. Throughout the entire night, neither of them looked distracted by their phones. In a place where most people are focused on capturing content, posting stories, and documenting every second, Timothee and Kylie were present. Watching, listening, reacting in real time. That alone became a talking point. Because presence, especially in a space like Coachella, is rare. And presence signals intention. Some fans interpreted this as a sign that their relationship has reached a new level of stability, one where they no longer feel the need to define it publicly. Others saw it as a quiet response to months of speculation, rumors, and assumptions. Not a denial. Not a confirmation. But a reminder that not everything needs to be explained. And then came the shift in tone. What started as excitement slowly turned into reflection. People began comparing this appearance to other high-profile celebrity couples who had struggled under constant exposure. The narrative evolved from "are they together?" to "how are they managing to do this differently?" Because that's what stood out most. Not the closeness. Not the chemistry. But the balance. They didn't hide. They didn't perform. They simply existed. And in doing so, they changed the conversation. By the time the story reached its peak online, one thing became clear: this wasn't about one night, one concert, or one viral clip. It was about a shift in perception. Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner were no longer just a headline driven by curiosity. They were becoming a case study in modern celebrity dynamics. How to be visible without being consumed. How to share space without oversharing. How to let moments speak louder than statements. As the day went on, engagement continued to rise. Comment sections filled with debates, theories, and emotional reactions. Some fans expressed admiration. Others remained skeptical. But no one was indifferent. And that, in itself, was telling. Because indifference is the enemy of relevance. And this moment erased it completely. By the end of the news cycle, one image remained burned into public memory: the two of them standing side by side, surrounded by noise, lights, and movement, yet completely centered. Not chasing attention. Not running from it. Just steady. And that's where the story leaves us, for now. No dramatic cliffhanger. No explosive reveal. Just a quiet question hanging in the air. If this is how they move together in the most chaotic environment imaginable, what does that say about what happens when no one is watching? That unanswered question is exactly why this moment matters. And exactly why the world isn't done talking about it yet. And just when it seemed like the conversation had reached its peak, another layer began to unfold. Because behind every viral moment, there's always what people don't immediately see. As discussions about Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner continued to dominate timelines, a new wave of analysis emerged, one that went deeper than body language or brief interactions. This time, people started focusing on timing. Why now? Why this appearance, at this exact moment, during Justin Bieber's performance at Coachella? Because timing, in the world of global celebrities, is rarely accidental. Some fans began connecting dots. They pointed out how both Timothee and Kylie have been navigating significant phases in their careers. Timothee, continuously evolving as one of the most respected actors of his generation, often keeps his personal life guarded. Kylie, a powerhouse in business and media, has mastered the art of controlling public narrative. So when both of them appear, unfiltered, unannounced, and seemingly unbothered, it raises a different kind of question. Not "are they together?" but "what are they choosing to show us, and why?" And that question shifted the tone of the entire story once again. Because suddenly, this wasn't just about romance or speculation. It became about strategy versus authenticity. Was this a calculated soft reveal? A way to normalize their presence together without making it an official statement? Or was this, for once, completely free of strategy, just two people choosing to experience a moment without overthinking it? The answer isn't clear. And that uncertainty is exactly what keeps people watching. As more high-quality footage surfaced, another detail caught attention, one that hadn't been widely discussed yet. Their rhythm. Not just how they stood together, but how they moved. Throughout multiple clips, you can see it. The subtle synchronization. When the crowd sways, they adjust at the same pace. When the music shifts, their reactions align almost naturally. Even their pauses, the moments when they stop moving altogether, happen in quiet unison. That kind of rhythm isn't easy to fake. It doesn't come from rehearsed appearances or staged interactions. It comes from familiarity. From time spent together outside of cameras. And that realization added emotional weight to everything people had already seen. Because now, it wasn't just about what happened at Coachella. It was about what must have happened before. The unseen conversations. The private moments. The gradual building of comfort that led to this level of ease in such a chaotic environment. And just when that thought began to settle in, another unexpected clip surfaced, short, slightly shaky, but incredibly revealing. In this one, the music is louder, the crowd tighter, the visuals less clear. But what stands out is a brief moment where Kylie turns away from the stage, scanning the crowd behind her. For a second, there's a flicker of uncertainty, like she's checking her surroundings. And almost instantly, Timothee shifts position. Not dramatically. Not in a way meant to be noticed. But enough to close that gap of uncertainty. It's subtle. But it changes everything. Because that wasn't about performance. That was awareness. And awareness is instinctive. That moment quickly became one of the most discussed details across fan communities. Not because it was flashy, but because it felt protective without being possessive. Present without being overwhelming. A balance that's incredibly rare, especially under public scrutiny. And as that clip spread, something interesting happened. The conversation softened. Less speculation. More appreciation. People started stepping back from theories and instead focused on what they were actually seeing, two individuals navigating a very public space in a surprisingly grounded way. And that shift may be the most important part of this entire story. Because in an environment fueled by assumptions and overanalysis, it's rare for a narrative to move toward understanding instead of exaggeration. But that's exactly what happened here. By now, the Coachella moment had evolved into something bigger than itself. It became symbolic. Not just of a relationship, but of a different approach to being seen. An approach that doesn't rely on grand gestures or constant validation. An approach that trusts that small moments, when real, are enough. And yet, despite all this clarity, one thing remains unchanged. The mystery. Because for every detail that feels revealing, there are 10 more that remain unknown. What was said in those quiet exchanges? What do these moments look like when no cameras are around? And perhaps the most compelling question of all. Is this just the beginning of something more visible, or the peak of something intentionally private? As the story continues to ripple through media and fan communities, one thing is certain. This moment will be referenced again. Analyzed again. Revisited again. Because it holds something rare. Not certainty. But possibility. And in the world of celebrity culture, possibility is what keeps the story alive. So now, as everything begins to settle once more, we're left with a final image, not of chaos, not of noise, but of stillness within it. Two figures. Side by side. Unshaken by the crowd. Unaffected by the spotlight. And somehow, more visible than ever because of it. And maybe that's the real story here. not what they showed, but what they didn't have to. And even as the clips began to slow down, the story refused to disappear. Because something about that night continued to linger, like an unfinished sentence the internet couldn't stop trying to complete. In the days that followed, new angles didn't just add information, they added depth. People started noticing what wasn't happening. No sudden distancing when cameras got too close. No exaggerated reactions when they realized they were being filmed. No visible discomfort in a space where discomfort would have been expected. Instead, Timothée Chalamet and Kylie Jenner maintained the same energy from beginning to end. Steady. Grounded. Unforced. And that consistency became impossible to ignore. Because consistency, especially under pressure, tells a different story than isolated moments ever could. It suggests alignment. It suggests understanding. It suggests that whatever exists between them has already been built long before that night. And then came a perspective that shifted everything once again. What if the real significance of this moment isn't about confirming anything? What if it's about redefining expectations? In a culture where celebrity relationships are often treated like content, announced, displayed, and sometimes even performed for engagement, this felt like the opposite. There was no clear beginning. No defined moment that marked their appearance as official. Just a gradual realization that they were there, together, existing without explanation. And that quiet approach disrupted the usual cycle. Because without a clear headline moment, the audience is left to observe instead of react. To interpret instead of consume. And that creates a deeper kind of attention. The kind that doesn't fade after a single news cycle. As conversations continued, another subtle detail began gaining traction, one that had nothing to do with proximity or gestures. It was their focus. At multiple points throughout the footage, both Timothée and Kylie seemed fully engaged with the performance itself. Not distracted by the crowd, not scanning for cameras, not performing for visibility. They were watching. Listening. Absorbing the moment. And that detail, while easy to overlook, added a new layer of meaning. Because it suggested that this wasn't about being seen. It was about being there. And in a space like Coachella, where attention is currency, that distinction matters. But just when everything seemed to settle into that interpretation, another ripple appeared. A fan account posted a slowed-down version of one of the most viral clips. Frame by frame. Second by second. And within that slowed-down moment, something new emerged. A pause. So brief it was almost invisible at normal speed. But undeniable when examined closely. In that pause, Timothée turned slightly, not fully toward Kylie, not fully away from the stage. Just enough to create a moment of awareness. Kylie, almost simultaneously, shifts her stance. Not toward him. Not away. But into alignment. It's not dramatic. It's not obvious. But it's synchronized. And synchronization at that level doesn't come from coincidence. That discovery reignited the conversation in a completely different way. Less about what happened. More about how it happened. Because people weren't just watching the moment anymore. They were studying it. And when moments invite that level of attention, they stop being casual. They become significant. By this point, the narrative had gone through multiple phases. Excitement. Speculation. Analysis. Reflection. And now, something quieter. Recognition. Recognition that what people witnessed wasn't extraordinary because of what was shown, but because of how naturally it unfolded. And that realization brought the story full circle. Back to where it started. A crowd. A performance. A fleeting glimpse of two people standing side by side. But now, that glimpse carried weight. Not because it confirmed anything definitively. but because it revealed something indirectly. Comfort. Presence. Connection. Not announced. Not labeled. But felt. And sometimes, that's more powerful than any statement could ever be. As the internet slowly moves on,